There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Yeah, hey you Gumpers, how are you doing this morning? Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal live stream, podcast and show. Great to be here for Feelgood Friday. Nice evening last night. Great job, Pam, talking about volunteering in Portugal as a great way to get involved with local community life. And there are all sorts of other suggestions along that theme of integration and becoming part of things in Portugal that came in from other members of the team and the collective community. The assembled community on the call last night. And a lovely call with Vitor Costa on Premium Plus last night at 9 p.m. as well. What fun that was. So a great evening. Yes, so you know how it is on a Friday. A little bit, I stay up late. I'm buzzing after the activities of a Thursday evening. And then I need to stay up a bit later and watch a bit of Netflix or something and unwind, which means I get to bed quite late and then I'm quite tired on a Friday morning. So it's great to be relaxing and having a bit of a feel-good Friday, which I'm doing right now with you. How are you this morning? Interesting news from Anna. Hope you're okay, Anna. Who's in? Let's have a very quick look. Baldylocks is here this morning. Well done, mate. T-Duck is here. Anna, as I've mentioned. Chris, Rebel Mama. How's it going, Rebel Mama? Barbara is here. You got this, says Barbara, with an emoji, I think. That hasn't translated very well, but great to see you here, Barbara. I think Barbara's here because Philomena's going to be here. Filomena Friday. Let's sing for change. Look at this morning. We're going to be singing the songs of the revolution. Well, one of the songs of the revolution. If you want to screenshot now, so you've got the words. Here we go. Zeca Afonso and Grandola Villamorena is what we'll be singing this morning. Okay, quick screenshot then. So you've got the lyrics that you can sing a little bit later on when Filomena joins us. That's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, yeah, and Vitor Costa, talking of Vitor Costa, I'm going to be chatting with him after the show this morning at around 10:45. I don't know who that's going to be. He might be watching this morning, but I'll put a link on my my Facebook page, or you can send me a message on WhatsApp if you want to tune into that. The phenomenon that is Vitor Costa, and looking forward to finding out who Knuckles is a bit later on. That poster was better than this one, wasn't it? Let's face it. Excellent stuff. Who else is in this morning? Cindy B. Morning, Cindy B. What a great week for you it's been. One thing you never hear is, man, that guy is good at badminton. Oh, I would like people to say that about me, actually. I do really enjoy badminton, but it's true. It's true, isn't it? I don't know. Is badminton strong here in Portugal? Not seen a club or a court, but I suspect it is like all sports. Dimitri Martin quote of the day from James Egg. Good morning to you, James. How you doing? Pete's in as well. Sam Nazare is here. And Lee's in. Oh, Lee, good morning to you. It's going to be a good one on Monday. Helen's coming back from that permaculture project in Plymouth in the UK. So we're going to have a lot of fun on Monday with a great panel for the Q&A. Oh, Ruth Rocha is here as well. Good morning to you, Ruth. Bon dia todos. Finally back in Portugal, so happy to be here. Anyone in Caldas up for a coffee this weekend? What a great idea. I'm not sure what the movements might be this weekend. Ruth, probably in the garden. Lots going on in the garden, building a kind of feature in the middle of the back garden. Yeah, we're going to be having a lot of fun, I think. So we might stay close to home, but we'd love to see you at our Wednesday meetup if you want to come over to San Martino de Porto. But loving the idea. Isn't that lovely that people are suggesting meetups? And I will get that on meetup.com itself, our Silver Coast meetup, as well as on our forum at expatsportugal.com. Ian Turner's here as well. Good morning, Gumpers. Overcast. over here in Hertfordshire in the UK this morning, but at least dry walk and coffee this morning. Happy Sexta-feira, everybody. And there's quite a lot of sex in the comments. Stay tuned this morning. What's Pete talking about? Honestly, what's he like? So, Baldylocks, hola gompers. I got the first thumbs up. Yes, smash those likes, everybody. We'll probably play this again later after everyone else has woken up and joined us. But look, we've got this. Chris urging you to smash the like.
Vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show at GMP.
Is Chris in yet? That threw you, didn't it? The whistling. What's going on? Bon dia, alegria, gumpers. Feliz sexta-feira. In capital letters, T-Duck. Calm down, sir. You'll peak too early. Douglas Adams, I love deadlines. I love the whooshing noise they make as they go by. I've heard that before. Didn't know it was Douglas Adams. Fantastic. Arthur C. Clarke. We stand on the shoulders of the quotable giants, don't we, every morning here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Arthur C. Clarke, I'm sure the universe is full of intelligent life. It's just been too intelligent to come here. Oh. And did you see the meme that I put up yesterday, or have I deleted it now? Is there intelligent life on Earth? Says one alien to another. Well, they've got, there doesn't seem to be. They've developed nuclear weapons and they've pointed them at themselves, at each other. So, yeah, another indictment of our intelligence here on planet Earth. But there are outbreaks of it from time to time. And I would say we're part of that this morning. The erudite prof is sailing. He may have landed already. And we have some Portuguese history from the prof, even though I don't think he can join us in person. There's intelligent life right there. Mark Twain, travel is fatal to prejudice. Yes, I think there's a few people here again who can attest to that. A nice one, T-Duck, from Mark Twain there, and Groucho Marx. If you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong. Which reminds me, on Monday, I'm hoping, I haven't even checked this with you yet, James Banana Slug, but I'm hoping the message from the Redwoods will be starting on Monday. Some words of wisdom from our very own community, from our pastoral guy, James. Are you all right starting on Monday, James? I loved what I've read from you. So let's crack on and do that on Monday live. You know, it's great to quote people, but I think there are so many smart, intelligent, and excellent people who might come onto the screen. And James will be leading that charge with some words of wisdom, like a thought for the day. But it'll be weekly first, and we'll see how we get on with that. Others may wish to step onto the screen and have their say too. From time to time. James, you up for it on Monday? Anna, you can hear my voices going. So hopefully it won't be too difficult to sing this morning. Bon dia, just left my car in Malaga. Lovely picture from you. I'll come back to that comment. I'm not too keen on what's being said there, Anna. That sounds like bad news there. What have we got here? No, that's not your vehicle, is it? My green screen's playing up because there's sunshine coming through the window. I'm not going to bother to mess about with that too much because I want you to see the sun coming through the window here in Portugal this morning. What's the weather like where you are? I think I'll have to adjust it a little bit. There we go. That's optimized for the moment. Let's see what happens. As that's why studios are blacked out, you know, so they don't have these sorts of problems. But Anna, you sent in a beautiful picture. Where is it? Can't find your beautiful picture this morning. Let me just load that up again, very specifically, so we can see. Oh yeah, the glory. This is not Portugal, everybody. A warning. This is not Portugal. What did you say to us this morning? Is this Seville? Anna, bon dia from Seville. Last night's view from the famous Isabel Bridge. So that's the Isabel Bridge I'm about to show you on the screen. Isn't that beautiful? What a great photographer you are. The Isabel Bridge in Seville. And who was it? It was in Barcelona yesterday as well. What's going on here? Get back here to Portugal, you lot. That's beautiful, Anna. And what is it you're saying? Bon dia. Just left my car in Malaga for it to go on a trailer back to Sweden. It will have to be repaired after the window being smashed in Olhão. Oh, I do some sightseeing in Seville instead. That's a shame. I'm sorry to hear that. And you have to ship it all the way back to Sweden, do you, for attention. So I'm sorry to hear that, but have a great time in Seville. Chris, having a great time here in Portugal. Let's bring it back to Portugal now. Bear with just a moment. Thank you very much for bearing with there. Morning, everyone, from Chris. I think you're heading this way soon, aren't you, Chris? Yes, relax, everybody. Chris has managed to find peanut butter. All is well. I have friends that live in Malaga. Sorry about the car. That sucks, says Rebel Mum. It's true, isn't it? It's so awful. When you've had a nice time, you come back to your car and the window's been smashed. That's happened to me in the past. It's not nice, is it? I think I had to drive 200 miles on a cold English morning after my window had been smashed as well. That wasn't brilliant. Hola, bom dia, pessoas. Tudo bem? Windy, rainy here, but not too cold. Off to the Roman hot springs in Spain. Everyone's going to Spain with my UK friends. Doodles. See you later, Rebel Mama. Have a great weekend. Bon fin de semana to you. Bon dia, Gumpers. James is here. Feliz sexta a todos. ¿Cómo te ha estado? How's everyone doing? And Barbara, yeah, Barbara's in. I think to see you coming to see Filomena this morning, Barbara. Bon dia, Chris Smith. Ain't watching live in the morning. A thrill. I think Chris is in. Safe to say, enjoying himself, watching the show in real time in Portugal, and have a fabulous time over here. Cindy B. Bon dia, alegria. Good morning to you, Cindy. And to Jean. Feliz sexta a todos. Cindy, very moving this morning. Your garden yoga pose. Find that on 50 Plus Vitality, everybody. Facebook group as we conclude another week over there. Banana Slug is back. Yes, can stay awake during the whole show watching from Portugal. Great news, Chris. Bon dia, alegria. Filomena Friday. Muito linda. A shame that the UK hasn't had a revolution since 1642. One could say it is more revolting than ever. Oh, come on. Easy on the old place, Pete. And in Australia, Sam's here. How you doing, Sam? Obviously, Filomena can't remember the Carnation Revolution, but maybe her grandmother told her stories. I'm going to star that comment to save to show her. She will love that. Barbara, yes, bon dia from Poland. Dzień dobry. And bon dia to Barbara from James as well. Fantastic. James, work in the room. Looking forward to the message from the Redwoods on Monday. Good morning, people. Have a great weekend, everyone. From Lee. Lee enjoys his weekends. Hard graft in the garden and then out for a 300-kilometer cycle ride, probably with a few beers, if I know Lee. And to Pete, her parents, I'm sure, could have told her, as well as grandparents, it was 48 years ago, not 98, Pete. Flipping heck. OMG, I love that song. I probably won't still be here, but I will sing it later. Brilliant. Matty's here as well, everybody. Hola, bon dia, alegria, todos de Amsterdam, ensolarado. Some sun over there in the Netherlands this morning. Ruth Rocha, then. Great to be back. Great to have you here, Ruth. And Baddy, bon dia, folks. How you doing, Baddy? How's it going with that motor? I do need to read Pete's messages before I put them on the screen. We have moved. What? I don't know if I should be reading messages out about sex cults, basically, unless it's a Sexta cult, Friday cult. Do you think you could volunteer, Carl, just to get clarity? Oh, I see. Okay, so I am going to read this out, and let's take it with, not with a pinch of salt, but with some care here. I think we have what the general consensus is a sex cult. That have moved in right next to Nick and Project Portugal. Do you think you could volunteer, Carl, just to get clarity? Well, I have been known for my dabbling in the tantric department, but I don't want to go all sting on you about it. Okay, so yes, you have my attention, and I'm sure the attention of others now, Pete. I suspect, and this is such a strange subject, isn't it? People who you might say are bold and brave enough to live in an intentional community that has somewhat different views about sex and sexuality, does bring about the curiosity and consternation of others. I'm sure if they're not hurting anyone, we can let them be, and it's not a threat to anybody, but we'll be watching. Keep me updated, Pete. Good morning, Gumpers. Yes, good morning to you, Coach Turner. Module 3, alive and kicking, building strength over there on the Grey Watch, gentle fitness for bon viveurs. We've got that together. What did you think of that, Coach? Is that all right for you? Vous, as Wiley told us yesterday, we'll be seeking a great groomer for taxi upon arrival. Recommendations. Well, which part of Portugal are you going to be landing in, Suze? Pop that onto the Expats Portugal forum. Where can taxi get a little bit of a manicure and makeover? I think we need a location for that, Suze. How are you doing? Now, I saw a picture which made me think of you. How's the packing and the clear out going? That one I think is great. That's the kitchen drawer sorted. That's how to pack a skip, folks. That's amazing. I wonder if they took that away or not. I just needed a net over the top of it, didn't it? A few bungee ropes and everything's fine. Is that what it's looking like over at yours, Suze, at the moment? And another thing along those lines, are you familiar with this thing? I am familiar with it. It's gotten very dark in here, isn't it? I think it's too much light. I might have to drop the shutters, folks. There's a thing called junker necking, right? A form of rubbernecking used to determine if roadside junk is trash or treasure. Guilty as charged. I do that. I think Susie's trying to get rid of stuff. I'm probably one of the junkers, not the junker neckers, leaving stuff by the bins to see if anybody wants it. That's how it works here in Portugal. That really is dim on the screen, isn't it? I think we're just going to go with it. It's a nice, easygoing, feel-good Friday morning, isn't it? So yeah, if you've got stuff to get rid of in Portugal, you just stick it by the dumpster and see if anybody else wants it. It's a really good thing. It's a really good tradition, and I'm very partial. Both sides of the counter for me. I mean, I'm very happy to leave stuff that I no longer need next to the dumpsters, and people take it away or not. And if they don't, it just gets taken away inside the dumpster when the bin men come. But last night, folks, check this out. I was out. I took the dogs out late last night. Who took the dogs out? It was me at about, I don't know, must have been getting on for 11 or something. And I found this, which I think that's a very beautiful thing. It's a lamp with as I was carrying it home, I was thinking to myself, it's an award, isn't it? It looks like an award. If I could just stick a head on the top of that or some sort of motif. Look, I received this award on behalf of the whole Gumper community as best online community in the world. The Gumpers receiving it on your behalf for Expats Portugal and Good Morning Portugal. Isn't that fantastic? Found it by the bins. So I'm definitely a junkernecker, but I was on foot. Last night and blessed with that. I'll move closer to the lighting. That might help a little bit. Okay, so 9 o'clock and Philomena will be with us. We'll be singing for change and we'll be singing one of those songs that signaled the start of the Carnation Revolution. Talking of which, another look at these. Look at these fantastic crocheted red carnations. I'll have to show those to Philomena when she gets here. And also, Sarah sent this in. 25 de Abril. Venha mais 25. Look at that. Celebrations for the 48th anniversary. 2 years to go, and it'll be the big 50th, won't it? It'll be quite amazing. And what's that? O lugar de Zeca Afonso. So Zeca Afonso himself from Setúbal there. Setúbal. Oh, I don't know. Zeca Afonso. That's one that I continue to struggle with. So yeah, that's a lot of revolutionary talk from 9 o'clock with Philomena. Unusual places where the show gets listened to from. Look at this. This is fantastic. This is Wim or Vim's truck. Am I allowed to call it that? Isn't that amazing? Or is that called a semi? Who doesn't like a semi in the mornings? Look at that, parked up on the tarmac there. And he listens to us in that truck. Isn't that fantastic? And let me tell you how fast that thing can go. It cruises at 110 kilometers, I think. Let me just find out on my correspondence with Wim that happened yesterday. Where are you, Wim? Cruising speed. It's a 500 horsepower. 18-speed gearbox that cruises at 110 kilometers per hour. Isn't that amazing? And I was in some correspondence with Wim or Vim yesterday. I'm going to go with Vim, actually. With Wim Hof. It's Wim, isn't it? It's a word or a verb. After that conversation with Wiley yesterday, that only confused me. So Wim or Vim, thank you very much for letting us show a picture of your incredible truck this morning, wherein the sounds of the Good Morning Portugal show can be heard. Isn't that incredible? Thank you for that. Oh, and more revolutionary talk. Thank you, Deagle, for your... Oh, actually, no, before I go to that, let's stay in North Dakota over there in the States. Look at that. Long winter, says Carlos. Who's sitting in that picture? Oh, my goodness. The boat iced to the river there. Does look like a long winter, but he can't wait to be here. Carlos, thank you for sending us that and making us feel warm here in Portugal. T-shirt time. Look, Depois de Adiós, Grandola Vila Morena. The other song, not the one we're singing this morning, the other song that signaled the start of the revolution. And Deagle's got himself a lovely 25 de Abril 1974 Carnation Revolution T-shirt there, which he wears proudly over there in Belfast. The effects, the residue, not the residue, the legacy of the Carnation Revolution felt all over the world, over there in Belfast. Thank you very much for that. And if you need to buy Deagle a t-shirt. He's a large, as you can see from the coat hanger in that picture, unless it's on the wrong hanger. Of course, Millie needs to be here this morning. Pooches and pussies. We did a little bit yesterday, didn't we? People sending in pictures of their pets, and Millie got left out. Isn't she cute? Beautiful dog, the Exton's dog. Thank you very much, Sarah and Richard, for sending in the picture of Millie this morning. She's beautiful. I think that brings us up to date on all the pictures, doesn't it? Oh no, that's the one we need in case there's a technical problem, or if we go off air for any reason. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Chris. Right, back to your comments. In anticipation of the wonderful Philomena joining us. Owen, can I have the jingle, please? Yes, Sarah, your dog. I hope you just saw Millie on the screen. We are watching while we have breakfast. You've got 2 new fans, with my kids being home for the holes. Okay, kids, make some noise because we're going to put Millie's picture back on the screen again. And maybe bring Millie in to join in with the fun and the excitement. How about that? So there you go, kids. Millie on the screen for you. How's your holiday going? Make sure mum and dad take you out. I don't know, maybe Mackie D's today, Kentucky, or something like that. Nice little treat for you. Make sure they look after you and spoil you and treat you well on this holiday. Sarah, thank you so much for your picture of. How do you say it? Give us a phonetic, if you will. Stubble. I'm going to go with Stubble. Are you in that habit of saying that? Sarah, thank you so much for that banner picture. Fantastic. Town does not matter. Have wheels, will travel. I still can't answer that question. Dog owners here in Portugal, where's the best place to get a trim for your pooch? Still talking about the sex cult. Oh, we know. I'm sure, but in the Exton household, Mummy, Daddy, what's a sex cult? I'm sure you can explain. I'm sure you and Philomena, just like my lovely wife, whose birthday it is on Sunday, started counting backwards for birthdays at least a decade ago. That's one way of doing it, isn't it? Pam, star of the evening yesterday. This award for you as well, Pam. Amazing presentation on volunteering. Yes. Yes, amazing presentation on volunteering, really good. And Pam's been volunteering, I think, for 7 years. Of excellent organisation in Alcobaça called ReFood, and she's there talking in Portuguese to people, supervising. She's in a supervisor position from time to time as well. Great job, Pam. Great job. I mean, on being that person who is a volunteer in Portugal and telling us all about it last night. It went down really well. Talking of sexta-feira, there's considerable research to show that moderate fitness training improves libido. And I think that he's talking about his own research there, isn't he? I may be an outlier, says the coach. I mean, it's got to be worth a try. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, with only a positive outcome, so to speak. Who doesn't like a positive outcome in the morning? Bon dia, Carl from Deagle. We showed your T-shirt. I hope you were here for that, Deagle. I think you were. That was from 8:38, wasn't it? Solar Life Portugal Pete. What? I don't hide my age. I'll be 65 this November. Lol. Indeed, she doesn't hide her age. We can do it. We can. What is it? I don't know. But we can do it anyway. And yes, morning to the Exton kids. Gemini's here as well. How are you this morning, Gemini? Ian, Rebel Mama, I beat you by 3 months. 65 in August. Amazing, huh? He doesn't look a day over what he looks in his late 40s, that fella, the racing snake. Ian, literally, the racing snake, Ian Turner. I don't know if you would want to put that on the back of your tracksuit, though. It's more of a martial arts name than one for the athletics track, isn't it? Blue skies in Belfast, but it's a fresh 0 degrees, -1 overnight in Belfast. My goodness. Did you say you want us to get Bear with you? I don't think I did. Oh, no, bear with me. I see what you mean now. I have to stop saying that. I don't want those sort of pics coming in on the WhatsApp number, 913-590-303, or do I? Kathy, hola, can I check that the time in Portugal is the same as the UK? No, it is currently 2:30 here in Portugal at the moment. Only kidding, Kathy. Yes, it's absolutely the same time at the moment. Can I check that the time in Portugal is the same as UK? I have an online consultation with this afternoon and do not want to miss it. Yes, same time. It is 8:30 a.m. Where are you? You send that in at 8:41 round. It's just to give you a time check now, Kathy. It is 8:54 right now as I speak. Not for the people watching on replay. That's going to be confusing for those dear folks who catch that later on. They must ignore all the time checking, mustn't they? It was Dougie, wasn't it? Of course, it was in Barcelona. So we have people in Seville and Barcelona. Dougie in Barcelona. Leaving there. What happened? Did you fall out with somebody? Did you have a political debate in a bar last night? Dougie, how's it going? Ian Turner, as my elder, I will defer to you. Brilliant. And Andy's here again. Great to have you, Andy. Hello from Norfolk, Suffolk border. Wife going cray this morning as she has found a house near Coimbra. She insists we must buy. Yeah, great chat with Vitor last night about this. If you want some help on the ground here, speak to our people. We have a number of people. And if you do need some help on the ground, just send me an email and we'll see if we can get you some help this side. Inspections are really, it's a tricky one. What was being said last night, basically, that if you want an inspection on a house, which is a really good thing to do, obviously, you can compromise yourself because there are people who will buy it without an inspection. It's tricky. It's tricky at the moment. And as Wiley was saying yesterday, there's not enough stock to go round. It's a really busy market with lots of demand. So I can understand your wife's frustration. And if we can help at all, do let us know. I'm off to visit this weekend. Jason Hall. Oh, nice one. Take some pics, Lee, for Monday this weekend, and a relaxing weekend for the lass in a nice hotel. That sounds fantastic. Nice treat. Good job. That's called getting your money's worth out of a skip pickup. Yeah, the picture that Sam is talking about is that one. I mean, that is getting your money's worth, isn't it? And I don't think that's the biggest skip. They've got themselves a midi skip. They're a mini skip, haven't they? But they know how to pack it. It's a skip Jenga. Skip Jenga there. Right. Lee, sounds lovely. You and the missus are always welcome to stay here too. Very good. I'm extending some hospitality. Andy, I know a fantastic realtor in Coimbra. There you go. Some help already. If you need some English speaking and totally reliable. Brilliant. Thanks, Rebel Mama. Thinking whether we need a Portuguese mortgage or can sell a house quick enough. She will not let it go. Well, yes, happy wife, happy life. See what you can do there. And don't forget, yes, the mortgage company we work with Jacqueline, who joins us once a month. Look in our business directory if you want a mortgage quote from Mortgage Direct. I've seen people singing for change, spare change, that is. Yes. I don't know if we should do that this morning, if we should set up a very GoFundMe page very quickly this morning. I wonder. I don't think people will be paying me to sing. I pick up wee screws and nails if ever walking. I tell Minister of Home Affairs I might need them for a wee job sometime. It's so true. Yep, well done. He's a junkernecker there on foot, even out and about. There's two reasons to pick up nails and screws. One of them is so that they don't puncture somebody's tire, right? Even if you don't need it yourself. If it's been graunched out or it's bent, you might not be able to use it. Although I have been known to hammer nails and screws back into a straight line so that I can use them again. You and me, Deagle, that screw we picked up in 1998, we may use it one day. Here we go. Stubel. Yes, let's go with that. Let's go with Stubel. With Stubel, I think, there, Rebel Mama. It is tricky, isn't it? Suze has sent pics of the packing. And let's get those on quickly before we we are graced with the presence of Philomena. I think it must have been your skip. Looking at how you've been in just a moment. This mouse, is that it's not letting me scroll through your pictures, but what is that in the picture there? I think that's probably a very tall lamp, isn't it? Okay, I'm struggling a little bit there, but I think we've got one just to give the gist of efficient packing. If you need this service, Suze may be able to come your way and help you move to Portugal. I'll take that comment off the screen because that's a little bit confusing. That with this on the screen. Excellent packing, Suze. Look at that. Very efficient. Some of those plastic boxes and a random frying pan. A random pot, a cooking pot. That always happens, doesn't it? I suppose you've needed to use that maybe, and that's why the old cooking pot is on the top there. Or maybe it's to give Taxi a little bit of water. Tech Cowgirl is here. Good morning, Gumpers. As a musician moving to Portugal this year, where can I find some ensembles to sing and record with? Pro or community choirs and more. Forum, please. Thomas is in a choir over at Santarém Way. I think that will be. And Pam, aren't you in a choir as well? There's going to be opportunities for you. Don't worry about that. Chris is on tour here, and he's touched down with an ensemble, a band, a jam band the other day. So Chris knows a thing or two about that. Might be able to help you. Yes, Stubel. Here we go, Stubel. I have, however, heard it pronounced two different ways in one sentence. Yes, and I've been told off on YouTube for the way I've said it. Carl, show the Gumpers the 2 coins. All right, then let's go back to the coins for you. We haven't done today in Portuguese history yet. I'll do that in just a moment. before Philomena gets here. I think she's got the link. She'll be here any minute now. Hold on a minute. Where are you, Deagle? With your 2 coins. Is that the change that you're sending over to us for the singing? I guess that's as good as anything. Oh, an excellent 20. Lots of revolutionary talk. Beautiful coins commemorating the Carnation Revolution. And yes, the República Portuguesa 100 escudos coin as well. They're lovely. And let me just bring those onto the screen as well so that you can see what they look like, everybody. Thank you for those, Deagle. I'm just about to do that in real time here. Man downloads material and shows it online in real time. Here they are on a live stream show. Thank you for bearing with again. No, don't say that. €2 piece. And next to it, just to give you a sense of scale, the 100 escudos, República Portuguesa, and the 20. That's really nice. That's the other side of the €2 piece, presumably. 25 de Abril, Portugal, €2 piece. Lovely to see that moving about all over the European Eurozone there to be spent. And on the other side of that, 100 escudos, 25 de Abril as well. I can't say 1974. We will learn how to say that when Philomena arrives here. Some of this now. Now, do you know what? Philomena's arrived now, and she will be thinking, we are playing the national anthem to greet her onto the screen. Philomena, good to you. Did you like that?
Olá, olá, bom dia, sim.
Have you ever heard it like that before?
Well, I've heard it before because I think you have already played it before, haven't you?
Okay, yes, all right.
Yeah.
Yes, fair enough. Yes, very good. Good answer. Good answer there. Good morning to you. Olá, bom dia. Tudo bem?
Olá, bom dia, alegria.
Bom dia, alegria, of course. How you doing there? And how's everybody at home?
Sim, estamos bem. Although my husband is still recovering slowly, but yeah, he has a long way to go. But yes, he's better. He's better. Thank you. And
Well,
by the way, thank you very much, especially to Pete Bleach, but to all the gumpers
yes.
that have given the fantastic automatic chicken coop door. And
well,
so he has been busy with that, and now everything is working fine. Excellent. So the chickens are happy with the new door that goes up and down and protects them during the night. That's the main thing, because we had a few accidents with some animals that went there and killed a few. But now they are safe. Now they are safe. Thank you. And thank you very much for the lovely bunch of flowers also. So I loved it. Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, it's so good. Thanks, Pete, for organising that. And yes, lots of love to you.
Obrigado.
And of course, Philomena.
Muito obrigada. Yeah, Pete is fantastic also. I mean, Pete is awesome.
He so is. So thank you very much, Pete. Thanks. Well done, all the gumpers. And we are sending lots of love to you and the family, of course.
Thank you.
And it's great to see you back on the screen where we are singing today. And we are in revolutionary mood.
This time, it's no children's song, right? It's a serious one. It's a serious one. It's a proper one.
Yes, and we will put it into context and perspective in just a moment. Philomena, how nice to see you.
Hello, Barbara.
Great to see you. Dzień dobry. Right, so the music there, the Portuguese national anthem in a doo-wop style, is of course our music for today in Portuguese history. And thanks to the prophetess who's in transit, so he's given me this one to put on the screen this morning. So even in the Azores, a revolutionary mood, the Azores Liberation Front, more commonly known as the FLA, was a right-wing paramilitary organization with the goal of forceful independence of the Azores, appearing right after the Carnation Revolution, and whose actions included violent attacks in 1975 over there. I think I missed the first bit. So today in Portuguese history, the 1975 Azores Liberation Front was founded. So there we go. Founded by Zé de Almeida in London on April the 8th, 1975. A former representative of the Ação Nacional Popular in the National Assembly, who modelled his actions on the Frente de Libertação do Arquipelago do Madeira. Also, the Madeirans and Azorians feeling the revolutionary.
But they are still part of the country.
Yes.
Luckily, because it's the most amazing landscape that we have in the country, I think. It's the Azores. I love the Azores. Madeira is also very beautiful, very beautiful. And for me, the top is really the Azores. But yes, I love them.
Yeah, well, we've seen the lovely pictures from you, of course, haven't we? Of your
yes,
trip
we
there.
have. Yeah,
that was fantastic. I seem to have lost all my banners. I don't know how that's happened. All my banners have gone. I wanted to. I mean, I can put this one on, which is quite useful. So I may have to start again. But oh no! Here we go. I haven't lost them after. Do you know? I loaded up a sort of virus protection. AVG is the one I use. I've liked using that over the years because the computer was slowing down, Philomena. But the problem is when you load up those things, it changes it locks you out of stuff, doesn't it? And you lose things.
Sometimes it happens. Yeah,
it can be pretty scary. So yeah, there's the one I'm looking for. Any questions for Philomena on Portuguese language and culture? Do pop them in the chat this morning, as well as singing. Anything you want to ask about the Portuguese language, European Portuguese, and the culture here, Philomena is the person to do it. And I think you have an artifact with you that is part of the conversation this morning. You have a very fabulous pendant on you there. What's going on there?
No, it's just another one of my my little things that I have.
What is? It looks very special. What can you tell us more about it?
No, there is nothing special about it.
Okay. I thought it was your special revolutionary pendant this morning.
Yeah, well, red for carnation.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
we are getting in the mood for it here, for Philomena, for sure. In the north, look at these. These are crocheted red carnations, of course.
Lovely, yeah.
Rebel Mama is making in Stubel. Sarah sent us this that she saw, I think, only yesterday evening. 25 de Abril, because this is where the Zeca Afonso comes from, right, in Stubel, I believe.
Well, yes, and that venham mais 25, because this is one of the songs from Zeca Afonso is venham mais 5, and so that is to play with the words venham mais 5 and then venham mais 25. So let more 25 come. But so this year we are celebrating 48 years of the revolution, right?
Yes, of course. And I mean, in 2 years' time, will it be an incredible celebration, do you think, and a big celebration in Portugal?
Yes, although it has already started. It has already started because on the 24th of March, so last month, we had exactly 17,500 days of democracy, and it was one day over the 17,499 days of dictatorship.
Oh, I see.
So the celebrations have started to celebrate that we have now more days of democracy than finally we have more days of democracy than the days that we had of dictatorship.
Amazing. Yeah. So another question that occurred to me that we could ask is, if you could have another revolution anywhere in the world, what would that be, folks? So give us your answers to that. What's the next revolution we need for humanity? And these lovely coins as well. Deagle sent these in, Philomena. Look at these, 100 escudos.
Yeah, 100 escudos. 100
escudos, forgive me. And the €2 piece, I'd love one of these. I don't know if they're still knocking about in circulation, but that's a lovely coin. The €2 that's celebrating as well.
Yes, I also have some of those. Yeah, I could have brought them. Yeah, I didn't remember, but yes, I also have some of those.
Well, it's interesting because that one came out in 2014, didn't it, to mark 40 years, 40-year anniversary of the
Yeah.
revolution there. So great coin. Are they worth more than their face value, do you think, now?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. All right. So let's go back to comments. I think a lot of people will be very glad to see you here this morning. Let's go to their greetings to you now. Obrigada. Very good, Kathy. Time check appreciated. I think we've got to go a little bit further back. Oh, yeah, Stubel then is as good as we can.
Stubal. Stubal.
Stubel.
Stubal.
Stubel. There we go.
Stubal.
Thank you. We knew you'd be able to sort that out for us. Stubel. Okay. And let's, of course, there we go. It looks nothing like Setúbal, does it?
No, it's not. The accent is not there. The accent is on the U. It's Setúbal. And it's not that accent. It's just an accent. Well,
really? Oh my, it's all horribly wrong. It's a Setúbal this morning.
It's Setúbal.
Oh, right.
Setúbal.
Okay, it looks like we're not going to be hearing from Andrew this morning. Facebook banned again. Although he's found. Oh, he's coming. He's coming via YouTube. What did you do, or dare you not say, Andrew, this morning? Free speech, my foot. Well, that's more like it. You won't get banned for that sort of language. I suspect it was a bit richer and rawer than that. That pot is on its way to donation. Oh, look, we've been looking at Suze's packing here. Oh, I've lost the picture already, but she's got a saucepan to give away. If anybody wants that in Portugal, bring it over, will you, Suze? That could be really helpful to somebody. Hola, lovely people from Nubianet. Good morning to you. Carl, what did Louisa say when you brought home your award last night? You light up my life. She liked it. You got to be careful. Philomena, I was saying, this looks like an award that we've won, doesn't it? For being the best community. The best community. No, but it's a light I found by the bins. I think it's a really nice.
Well, you deserve it. You deserve it anyway.
Yeah, but either way, it is lighting up our life. She was quite pleased. She's not always that happy. When I brought home some floorboards with woodworm the other day, she wasn't too happy. But they were to make the thing that the potatoes are going to grow in. So it was all fine in the end. Jean is here. Bon dia, Gumpers, as well. And what's this? All you were doing was setting the stage for the debate this afternoon. Oh, it's man cave stuff. Yeah, no surprises there, getting themselves banned off Facebook. My boxes are all numbered. Contents of each listed in a little book. Very good. That could work well on the board.
Very organized, right?
Very, very good. Are you an organized person, Philomena, a hoarder or a minimalist? Would you say?
Well, I used to be more organized.
Okay.
Now I'm not as organized. But I think I am still organized. Yes. But
good.
Sometimes I wish I was a little bit more.
Well, you're a teacher, aren't you? Teachers tend to be organized.
Yes, I am organized. Yeah.
Yeah. Hola, Philomena from Matty, and of course from Barbara from Poland this morning. Good morning, Philomena.
With some snow. With some snow in Poland, yeah. She has sent me a picture this week, I think. Everything full of snow.
Wow. Good morning, Philomena.
Bon dia, João.
Bon dia, João. And Lucy's here as well. Great to see you here, Lucy. Bon dia, Philomena.
Hola, Lucy.
Carlito. Is it you that calls me
Carlitos?
Yeah, Carlitos. Bon dia, from Antonio F. And look, all these lovely greetings. Everybody greeting each other on this wonderful Feel Good Friday. Bon dia, maravilhosa, Philomena.
Obrigada.
Very good. Apparently, hold on a minute. I have to read these that Pete sends in.
Yes, you better read them first.
Yes, exactly. He's a pranker, isn't he? Apparently, because that has been declared really. Is that a true story, Pete? That Costa del Sol has been so windy, it is a disaster zone. So yeah, get back to Portugal. I didn't know that. So extreme weather there in the south of Spain, possibly. I was taught to focus on the positive while keeping the negative in just enough sight to be aware. Otherwise, it can be crippling. Yes, that's good advice. Filomena! Hola!
Hola!
What is it that people here in the north say after every conversation? Sounds like tabang. Is it sort of like ending in English with right or okay?
Yes, exactly. Yes. And of course, this tabang is just the short form of está bem, but nobody says está bem. They just say tabang. Yes, it's the same as saying right or okay.
Yes, and sometimes it sounds like it's part of the 5-minute goodbye as well, doesn't it? Where
Sim,
where
tá
you
bem, ok, 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 ok,
yeah, yeah,
tchau, tchau. Tá bem.
okay. Até logo, próxima, tchau, tchau, bom fim de semana. Okay, does anyone else listen to Sons da Terra? I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is, Philomena?
Sons da Terra. I'm not
Sounds of
sure.
the country, of the earth. Right, okay. There's no need
Maybe a
for that.
band? Sons da
There's no need
Terra?
to be rude about our Spanish neighbours there. We need a revolution in Russia, isn't it obvious as well? Well, I put that there, so I put the ball on the tee so that you could smack it down the fairway. Yes, exactly. When you leave there, you also see how horrible it is, even if you're aware while there. I think there is still a bit of cognitive dissonance that you need to live there. You're not the only place, I think. Bon dia, Carl and friends from St. Catherine. Good to see you here this morning, St. Catherine. Have you got some pictures that you want to share? Hola, bon dia, Filomena, Carl, and my Good Morning Portugal family. I've sat back and watched the like button. Time to hit the like button again. I think he was a bit late. He didn't see this, did he? Let's give this a spin now.
Little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show at GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Yeah, he is watching us, and he can see that there are 41 watching. More now, but only 25
Yeah,
likes.
41 probably just on YouTube, and then there are the others on Facebook, right?
Of course, absolutely right. And then many more later. That's how it works.
yes,
Here,
and
because
later, yes, and later,
so
because
many
some people
watching.
are working or sleeping, or some are still
Mainly
sleeping.
sleeping. Mainly, some people here are sleeping as well, though. To be fair,
Yeah.
let's see, we'll wake them up with us with our singing in a bit.
Yeah.
I've been thinking you and Joao are family of some sort. So Ferreira, yes, quite a popular name in Portugal, I think. Ferreira, isn't it?
Friday, yes, it
Yes.
is. It is.
Yeah, not to be confused with Ferrero, as in the Ferrero Rocher. Suze, my freight was telling you like this too. I can just imagine what is he being rude here? I could just
Carlos
imagine
Neva.
first.
É que o pobre estrangeiro a passar novamente pelos contentores.
What's he saying? What's he saying about us?
Yeah, because it's about your trophy.
Oh,
The
okay.
poor neighbor that went again to the rubbish containers.
It was dark, Pete. No one saw me. Well, you never know, do you? There might have been a bit of curtain twitching. Although it's not curtain twitching here, is it? It's shutter rattling in Portugal.
Yeah,
Rather than,
it just says that you can imagine your neighbor thinking, "Oh, the poor foreigner that went again to the rubbish."
yeah, well, it's true. Guilty as charged. Maybe there'll be some food outside of the door later on as well. Some oranges. I dropped off a small folding table in the lot across the street on our way home to morning coffee. Morning coffee, it's a tradition. It's the constitutional down there in Lisbon. 15 minutes later on the way home, it was gone magic. That is how it works. That's how it should work. That people use things rather than chuck them away.
Yes, yes.
Gene Roddenberry himself describes Star Trek as wagon train in space. That's a very specialist reference there, isn't it? Are you a Trekkie, Gene? Bon dia, Philomena. I love the version of Grandola Villa Morena where it is very soft starting, like marching feet that build up.
Yes, it's actually when it was conceived, let's say, when the music was prepared by the authors, they thought, and okay, we can start to speak a little bit about the song. The song is it was intended to reproduce Grândola Vila Morena. It was intended to reproduce the way they sang in Alentejo. They have a specific way of singing in Alentejo, which is called the Canto Alentejano, which is now part of the World Heritage. And they sing usually. It's a group of men that come from working in the fields, and the sound of these now that we think is marching feet, and it really seems like an army marching, because we hear the sound
Mm.
right? And what they intended to be at first, but it was a technical error that then changed it a little bit. It was intended to be to reproduce the sound of the feet of the workers coming from the fields, and they were very exhausted, but from working all day long, and so they would go, with their feet, dragging their feet. But of course, they tried to do that, but they luckily they failed because because it was interpreted as the marching of the troops, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so it was, and because of the lyrics also, because sorry, because during the period of dictatorship, of course, we had the censorship, so everything was censored, and you couldn't say what you wanted. If you thought differently, you would be arrested, and so there was no freedom, of course. And
Mm.
some song writers, they tried to do some songs that were apparently they were innocent, and the lyrics were apparently uh, nothing much. I mean, nothing that to worry about the regime, but there was always something behind the lyrics, right? There was always a second meaning, and this is exactly what happens with the Grândola Vila Morena. That is also um, it is the structure of the song is also like the usual structure of a Alentejo song. So the Canto Alentejano. I don't know if you have ever listened to Canto Alentejano, Carl. The
No.
a group of men that usually they they are all together, and they how shall I say, they give
Oh,
the arm to the
they
others,
lock
and
arms. They lock arms. They lock
and
arms.
then they sing like that.
Oh, that
They
sounds like
sing, and
fun.
yeah,
Yes.
and they usually have this structure of
Right.
repetition, right? Because you sing it and then you repeat, and you in a different order, right?
I have, I have
We
heard
can see
this.
that later on the song. So
Yeah.
we have a line, and then that line is repeated later on, but in a different order. And
Yes.
so the song, everything is the song in the song is like that structure of canto lentejano. And so it was easily recognizable by the people,
Ah,
and it was something that people could identify with, right? Because they were used to this kind of singing from the people, because it's, as I said, a kind of song that is sung by the working people from Alentejo. And because Alentejo, of course, it was the big area of cereal, and so the cereals all came from this part of the country, and it's hardworking people on the
yep.
fields. So yes, this was also one of the reasons why the song was chosen by the military troops to be like a password to start the revolution.
Yep.
There were two songs. There were two songs that were important. The first one, before midnight at about 11 p.m. Um, there was the song E Depois do Adeus from the singer Paulo de Carvalho. That was also, the lyrics could also be interpreted, depois do adeus, goodbye dictatorship. But this one, Grândola Vila Morena was the really true password for the troops to set off from the headquarters, and coming from Santarém to Lisbon.
Yep. That's the first one you mentioned there. I mean, I love these pictures from
Paulo Carvalho,
1974.
yeah.
Yeah, there's Paulo Carvalho there. And it's just so evocative. If you play, not now, folks, but later, if you play those black and white videos of him singing at the Eurovision Song Contest, it's
Yes,
just
and
it's so,
if you listen to the song E Depois do Adeus, E
yeah.
Depois do Adeus, that's the song that was played before midnight, so on the 24th of April.
Yeah. So this one was first, and then the one we're going to sing came second.
It was the second. Yeah, the Grândola Vila Morena was the second song that was really, to go.
Which then, of course, led Zeca Afonso to just be a huge star for Portugal, right?
Yes, Zeca Afonso was a brilliant singer, and he wrote lots of songs that were, like I said, I mean, the lyrics. It seems that the lyrics are very innocent, but they always have a second meaning, and there is always something hidden there. When I mean hidden is to tell people that people are not alone, that they can fight for their freedom, that it's not a situation that can't be changed. You see, it was, the message was always to tell people that you can do something about it.
Yes, fantastic, love it. And that photo we see there, that's the Zeca Afonso face.
Zeca Afonso, yeah. José, his name is José, right? Yeah. José, but it's like you, Carlos, Carlitos. So you are Carlitos, and José was Zeca Afonso.
I was going to ask you that if it's a form of José. So there you go.
Yeah,
and look at these brilliant pictures. I love them. Really, really just so evocative of the time, and you get a sense of the atmosphere, don't you? And this build-up. And we're going to be part of that in some small way this morning, because we're going to be singing the song. But before we do, let's get yourselves gargling honey or whatever it is you do, folks, to get your voices nice and loud. And we know, Philomena knows if you're not singing, and we'll stop and say, you're not singing, sing up. Okay, so we make sure you're singing. We need a kindness revolution.
That was also a kind revolution, because the soldiers didn't kill anybody. Well, to do with that, let's say, the story of the revolution, because in 1961, Portugal started the war in Africa, in Mozambique, Angola, Guinea, so the countries in Africa that wanted to be independent from Portugal. And Salazar, of course, didn't want them to be independent. So Salazar wanted to keep them under control. And so what happened was every young boy was sent to, it was compulsory, of course, to go to fight. And they used to spend 4 years in the army, and it was compulsory to spend 4 years in the army. The first 2 years they would spend in Portugal to train, to get all the techniques, let's say. And then when they were ready, then the last 2 years they would be sent to Africa, to one of those countries, Angola, Mozambique, Guinea. I had people in the family that have fought in Guinea, for example, and I know other people who have been in Angola, for example, and so they would go for 4 years, and that, imagine a young boy, right, spending 4 years of his life in the army. It was awful. And then when they went to Africa, of course, lots and lots have been killed. Altogether, almost 9,000 Portuguese young boys lost their life in these 13 years of war. And so very, very, and about 30,000 were injured. Or I also, my neighbor next door, I remember when he came, he was fine at first. It seems to be fine, but then he started to have a health problem that ended up he ended up in a wheelchair for the rest of his life, and he could hardly speak, and lots of things. So he has spent his whole life. He has died recently, in a few years ago. And so it was terrible. Everybody knew, everybody knew someone who has been killed, or who has come back with a severe injury. Everybody was fed up. Uh, Basically, everybody was fed up with this situation of losing a son, losing a brother. It was a terrible situation, and this was also a reason why the people joined the army in Lisbon on the 25th of April, because
Sure.
of course the troops, the military troops started this movement, but of course everybody else, the civils, also joined,
Yeah.
because they wanted the revolution. Everybody was fed up with the situation. Portugal was extremely poor. Well, it is still poor, but at that time it was extremely poor, because a lot of money would go to the war, right?
Of course. Of course.
To the war in Africa. So everything together was there were several reasons, but everything together, of course, led to this joint wish of the people and the military forces, to get rid of the dictatorship. Of course, Salazar was not alive, because Salazar had already died in
Yeah.
1970, right?
Yes.
But there was Marcelo Caetano, that was in charge of the government at the time, because Salazar, he fell off a chair in 1968. He fell off a chair, and he hit his head, and after that he was very, very poorly, and
Oh,
so he was replaced by Marcel Caetano. They say that he has never been told that he was not in charge anymore, and this is what they say, that he thought until the day of his death that he thought that he was the head of the government still. But
really?
yeah, but that was the end of Salazar, just falling off a chair. And so he died in 1970, but in 74, Marcel Caetano was the president, not the president, the prime minister, right? The head of the government,
Leader, yeah.
and so so they rebelled against him and against the government. But no, I mean, they didn't. The soldiers didn't kill anybody, because every well, also the people joined them, and then there was this scene with the carnations, because a florist gave a bunch of carnations to a soldier, and then the soldier started to distribute, to give the carnations to every soldier, and then they've put the carnation inside of the gun. So you have plenty of pictures with the guns with a carnation at the end, right? So
Yeah.
that was also a sign that they were not there to kill anybody, but it was just, if they would they would fire a carnation. but that is also an icon of the revolution, the gun with a carnation inside. That's why we say a revolução dos cravos, a revolução dos cravos, the carnation revolution.
Beautiful.
Right.
And I've got some pictures of that. I mean, again, iconic and so evocative of the time. Superb. I mean, this is a very easy search to do, and just to get a
Yeah.
sense of that, and the gun barrel stuffed with the. Did you Caravos is
Cravos.
carnation?
Carnation.
Cravos,
Yeah.
cravos,
Carnation is cravo. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And it's this fella here. He was immortalized, wasn't he? I don't know if you can see it on the right of the screen there.
Yes.
Like a sort of
Salgueiro Maia, yeah, especially the captain Salgueiro Maia. Salgueiro Maia
Yeah.
was he was a very calm person, and that was also a very positive characteristic in that situation, because he was in control of everything, and he calmed down everybody. So
Wow.
probably if he was another temperament, maybe things could go wrong. But he was in control of everything, and he was really calm, and so people were calm too under his control. Yeah.
That's him. That's him there. That's the gentleman you're talking about.
Yeah, it seems to be
Amazing.
Saldermeier. Yeah.
Amazing. That's incredible. I'm going to put this this rather good Algarve blog. This is a friend of ours. This is Alison Sheldrake who's written this. Alison and Dave, good morning to you in the Algarve. This is their 10 facts about the Carnation Revolution you may not know. So I'll put that in the comments. So thank you for the history lesson this morning. It's such an inspiring story.
And then democracy started there, and 1 year later, in 1975, we had the first elections. So it was the first time the Portuguese could vote freely, and there was, of course, lots of changes because before that we couldn't vote. Right? There were no elections. It was just the dictator.
Can I ask you a question, Philomena? You know, this you described the kind of ferment before and the frustration, and people will believe this, obviously. And we're not talking about that long ago, are we? This is the most recent revolution in Europe.
I was alive.
But what I want to ask you, and this is a bit of a sort of elephant in the room kind of question, because there must be people still alive who were on the kind of the wrong side, if you like. So if you know, if somebody was 30 years of age at the time and they were held office in this fascistic situation, this dictatorship situation, they would have been 30 at the time. So they would be 78 now. What happened to those people who were the officials of the oppression? Where did they go? Did they go anywhere? Were they able to find themselves back in society?
The usual place to run away from Portugal, the usual place to run away is Brazil.
Brazil, okay.
Right.
So
when you are running away, usually it's like the kings, for example, right? Yes. When something went wrong, okay, let's go to Brazil. Yeah. So usually it's the usual way to escape is going to Brazil.
And that's what they did. That's
what lots of them did. Yeah.
Amazing, incredible, because it's just so recent, isn't it? Okay, somewhat of a tangent. The Frage du Dia, the track of the day for a bit of light relief. The night I fell in love, and I imagine a few people did fall in love on the April 25th, 1974. I imagine it was a very romantic atmosphere as well as one of great victory. I always mention royalty,
even with flowers and everything.
Exactly, red carnations everywhere. I always mention royalty regarding my musical heroes. However, Luther was a musical god amongst men, responsible for increasing the population. Yeah, and I imagine a few babies got born soon after the relief and the celebrations of the Carnation Revolution. Is there a name? Is there a Portuguese name that signifies that you were conceived or born around that 9 months later?
Not that I know of.
Right, okay.
No, but you know that the women, for example,
yes.
Women. Did you know that, for example, before the revolution, a woman was not allowed to leave the country unless she had the express permit from her husband in writing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She couldn't leave the country unless the husband allowed it in writing that she could leave the country. So
48 years ago.
48 years ago, they couldn't leave alone. They couldn't travel alone outside the country unless they had the permission from their husband. Yeah.
Because Gloria, the Netflix series, gives a little bit of an insight into a lot of what you're talking about, how young men went to Africa, and you know, actually radicalized before we knew the term, I suppose, being involved in the struggle and the horror of fighting in Africa for the Portuguese military, and coming back and that completely changing their world view. And of course, I think it's also documented this relationship between husbands and wives and the amount of control husbands were given. And there's a contrast in there because it's about, you know, it's about America, Russia, and Portugal, really, without wanting to give too much away. But you see this contrast of the sort of very free American. I mean, I think there are senior women American diplomats in this, or government officials, and that's compared and contrasted with the quite oppressed conditions for Portuguese women.
But if you think of now of Portugal today, where legally there are the same rights for women and men, right?
Yeah.
At least legally. Sometimes it's a bit different, but
Yes.
according to the law, you have the same rights, right? Men
Yeah.
or women. But at the time, everything was controlled, and of course, one way to control was also not to give a lot of access to education. So, for example, a lot of women would not go a long time to school because usually if you meet now people that are 80 years old and usually women went a lot less to school than men, and even men were not very encouraged to go for a long time to school. So because the least you knew, the more likely it was to control you, right? So there were no news from abroad because again, the least you knew, the better you were controlled. So everything was very, very controlled. Even the letters, I remember the letters that were coming from Africa, from the soldiers, right? Because we had family that were in Africa, and they were fighting there, and sometimes they wrote a small, we called it telegram, right? So very small message, but to say I'm alive, right? So but sometimes when we got that message from them, everything was just traced, it was
out, erased.
And it was just dear mom, right? And then everything erased, and then yours, and then the name, and you wouldn't think you couldn't think you couldn't know what the message was, right? Because
they said
if they thought that the what the soldier said could be interpreted as a threat to the regime, then they wouldn't allow it, right? So sometimes there was a letter that it was a sentence here, a sentence there, but not much. We couldn't see much from the message. Everything was controlled. Everything.
Wow.
And people were afraid. People were afraid, even in the street, for example. People were afraid to speak freely because they couldn't. So if they said something about the regime, they knew that they could have consequences.
Incredible, isn't it? So recently as well. So recently.
So recent, yeah.
Okay, lots to get in. Get ready to sing, folks. Healthy Move Portugal. Matty, a pronunciation. Well, not pronunciation. This is a language technicality for you here. This is really interesting. We're talking about speaking Portuguese properly. Allow me to make something clear. Amsterdam Ensolarado, which I translated correctly as Matty meant it, as in a sunny Amsterdam, does not necessarily mean that, but rather Amsterdam full of palaces. The word ensolarado derives from the word solar, which is a palace. Sunny in Portuguese is soalheiro.
Soalheiro.
There you go. So there you go, Matty, especially for you. Thank you, João F. This is also a common mistake for most Portuguese, including those. So you're in good company.
Well, the Portuguese language is so difficult that the Portuguese don't know it.
There's a consolation for you. I still love it when you put unwanted items on the sidewalk. They mysteriously vanish in 5 minutes. And there's a translation, very good, of that. And Gemini is saying, Carl, remember the saying, muck is money, lass. Nice lamp. Thank you very much. Thanks for the historical context, Philomena. Yeah, it's been so brilliant hearing from you about this. I'm so inspired by the whole Carnation Revolution idea that it was so recent. Go on,
Carl. I have something specially for you because you live in Caldas de Rainha, right?
I do. You're nearby. Yeah. It's the nearest big town.
Do you know what happened in March 1974? So we are speaking of the revolution of 24th of April 1974, of course.
Yep. Yeah,
But on the 16th of March 1974, there has been an attempt of a revolution from Caldas da Rainha.
I'm going to go there today and celebrate that. So yeah, so what happened?
They were not well coordinated, and it was a failure.
Well, they must have been punished as well, though, right?
I'm sure they were. I'm sure they were punished. So it's known as o golpe das Caldas.
Okay.
Golpe. If you Google golpe das Caldas, probably you will find something about it. So
It always feels a bit revolutionary to me in Caldash. There's an edge. It's an edge.
But then they learned that they should be more coordinated, right? They were not very well coordinated, and so they have been caught.
So they went back to just making ceramic parts of the male anatomy instead. Yes.
Maybe that's why the origin of the ceramic of Caldas.
Yes, nothing to see here. Okay, right. It's just a cover. Okay, the song, Jean, and the Sons de Terra. It's a choir. Yeah, so a lot of okay. So it's a folk choir by the sound of it, with that same tradition that you mentioned, but also several men's choirs also do. What's this? Someone ringing me up now? Not now! Come on, for heaven's sakes! Not now. Let's just turn the phone off.
Someone who is not watching the show.
Well, that's right. I'll have to have a word with them about that, won't I? That's yeah. What were you thinking? All right. So that's great.
You have to punish that person too.
I'll have to in some way, won't I? Right, phone's off now, as it should be. Hidden messages in songs is an old tradition of rebels. So many young English children's songs and poems, for example, Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary. Very good, James. Thank you for that. What's this? The US is still young in its evolution. Portugal and Spain are examples. The character of the people can prevail, but it might take a few hundred years, and it's not always pretty. This is true of human beings, isn't it? Did people... So we're talking about the people who had their insurrection in Caldash, which wasn't very successful. What happened to people? Is it true that people were sent to Spain? Was that one of the punishments?
I don't know, but usually they were put into prison, right? They were arrested, but if they were sent into Spain, I'm not sure.
No, okay. I just thought that's one of the reasons why people don't like going to Spain. It's in the blood.
I like going to Spain.
Okay, fair enough. Carl, I thought you had a top of the pops attitude to Portuguese singing, mouthing the lyrics. Okay, so that brings us to this song that we're going to sing this morning. Now, we, like I said, Philomena knows if you're not singing. Suze, we've noted your comments. Come on, sing up at home. This is important. This is to spark the revolutionary within. Anything you want to change in your own life, the spirit of the Carnation Revolution is in here. And so it's transformational and revolutionary this morning. So what have we got? Here,
well, we've got Grândola is a town that is in the north of Lisbon, district of Setúbal, and Setúbal, right? And so Grândola is part of Alentejo. That's why it was, very normal to have this song as Alentejo kind of song. And so it's Grândola Vila Morena, right? Vila, of course, everybody knows what's Vila, town. And Morena, we can say Morena, for example, when you get suntan and your skin starts to be a bit darker, and that is Morena. Is also... it's always to do with the darker color. So, for example, your hair, if you are a dark-haired person, you are moreno or morena. So, because Alentejo is associated with lots of sun, right? So we can also say that this Vila Morena is to do of being a town from Alentejo, right?
Yeah.
So, Grândola Vila Morena. Terra da Fraternidade. So the land of brotherhood, right?
Yeah.
Land of brotherhood. Then, o povo é quem mais ordena. This means the people is who is in charge. Mais ordena, so who is in command. So the people are the ones who are in command. So there you go, right? So land of brotherhood. So everybody is a brother, and the people are the ones who are in charge. The people are the ones who are, who order. Dentro de ti, ó cidade, inside, within you, city.
Yeah.
And then again, the repetition, as I said, dentro de ti, ó cidade, o povo é quem mais ordena, terra da fraternidade, Grândola, Vila Morena. It's the same, but in another order. Then em cada esquina, um amigo, in every corner, a friend. So again, telling you that you are not alone, right? In every corner, you've got a friend that can join you, right? Em cada rosto, igualdade. In each face, in every face, equality. So we are all equal. And then again, Grândola, Vila Morena, terra da fraternidade. And then terra da fraternidade, Grândola, Vila Morena, em cada rosto, igualdade, o povo é quem mais ordena. So again, the same lyrics, but in another order. Then we have à sombra de uma azinheira, because azinheira, the olm oak, is very typical of the Alentejo. And so à sombra, in the shade of olm oak, que já não sabia a idade, that no longer knew how old it was. Jurei ter por companheira, I swore to have as a companion, Grândola, a tua vontade. Grândola, your will, your wish. So again, to do with your wish, and you wish to be free, right? And then again, Grândola, a tua vontade, jurei ter por companheira, à sombra de uma azinheira, que já não sabia a idade. Okay, so that is to do with
Easy.
Not being afraid of expressing your wish, and in this case, the wish of freedom.
Okay. I know. I have to say, I'm not familiar with the tune. I think it will come back to me.
Well, the tune is, as I said before, and as someone has mentioned, like a marching tune from the soldiers, right? So it is what you hear in the background at first. It seems a group of people that it seems to be marching. So it's like dun, 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 dun,
I remember
right?
that. I remember that
Marching,
recording.
right? So it's in that pace, and to do with that pace that is it is sung.
Yes.
So whenever you are ready, we can start.
This is not a good enough excuse, is it? That someone's working that they don't sing.
No, of course not.
I don't think so. We need a better excuse than that, quite frankly. So okay, let's do it. Let's do it, Philomena. We'll have a couple of goes at this, obviously, and we want people to join us.
I'll try.
At home.
I'll try to do my best. Okay.
I'll do my best to support you.
Ok. Grândola, Vila Morena, terra da fraternidade, o povo é quem mais ordena, dentro de ti, ó cidade, dentro de ti, ó cidade. O povo é quem mais ordena, terra da fraternidade, Grândola, Vila Morena.
Okay. Okay.
Em cada esquina um amigo, em cada rosto igualdade, Grândola, Vila Morena, terra da fraternidade, terra da fraternidade, Grândola, Vila Morena, em cada rosto igualdade, o povo é quem mais ordena.
I can do that bit.
À sombra de uma azinheira que já não sabia a idade, Jurei ter por companheira grândola a tua vontade, grândola a tua vontade. Jurei ter por companheira à sombra de uma azinheira que já não sabia a idade.
Oh, let's make the camera move on. I'm rising up, and there's actually an uprising going on. I'm rising up the screen. Wow, who doesn't like an uprising in the morning? That's amazing. We will do that again, and we are feeling that tune. Did you try? And that Alan Tejano thing is going on, isn't it? In the heart and in the guts, you feel that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's superb. Okay, let's look at a few more comments that have come in since we've been talking, Philomena, and your lovely description, amazing, moving description of what went on in that time. The Portugal, you said a poor country. Portugal has always been rich. Only problem is it was stuffed with burglars. Well, maybe. The Portuguese colonial war actually lasted 14 years, not 13, because it ended in 19. I guess there must have been a tailing off.
Okay, but in those 13 years until 1974, that's what I said.
Yeah, fair enough. During the years after the revolution, the new revolutionary regime was still sent troops to fight overseas while negotiations with the so-called liberation movements. Yeah, and I remember I had a tour in Beato in Lisbon of where they baked the supplies to send to Africa, and it's chilling. The amount of money and resources they put into fighting this war in Africa and sailing the provisions to the army there, it's just it boggles the mind. But it's what some crazy men tend to do, and they tend to be men, don't they? Bon dia, Carl from Joao. What's this? Props. They're talking about props. That's Susan Rebel Mama there. The death toll was almost 9,000, but the injured, the disabled, and the war fatigue traumatized sends over 50,000. It's extraordinary, isn't it? Over 1 million Portuguese young men went through the ordeal of the colonial war, each one of them being there for 2 to 3 years in actual combat. And Joao saying, Carl, revolution or revolution was still 20 years behind, sorry to say. Well, Joao, I think there's a mix there with that, because in many ways, what's so brilliant, I think, about Portugal is it hasn't been dragged into the kind of neoliberal future that besets other countries of Europe. I like the balance. I like the balance that occurs here. But yes, for any country and any culture, I suppose, always room for improvement, and also tempering the leading edge, which can get us into all sorts of trouble. Oh, those babies. How about
Incarnation baby?
You know who you are. You know who you are. With Joao talking to Jean, revolution in Russia, I meant a change of regime and political mentality, not really a military or armed revolution that could end up in a bloodbath. Absolutely.
Said. For sure. Yeah.
And sorry, Carl, women are led to believe they're equal as men, but it's not so. Well,
I think that's what I said. According to the law, we are equal, but in practical terms, no, we aren't.
We still got work to do, haven't we? Always war is bad. Well said, Barbara.
Yes.
And serious question.
And Barbara is also helping a few Ukrainians in her house, so she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Adrian, this is a little bit for a Monday, I think. Come back on Monday, or just drop me a line, Carl at expatsportugal.com. Happy to help. But we're in a revolutionary mood and singing this morning. We'll go through it one more time, and we want you singing at home. Philomena, I had a friend act as a translator when we were married, and even he couldn't understand some of the language used by the Portuguese officials. Fantastic. Brilliant. Sim, Philomena. A língua portuguesa é muito difícil.
É muito difícil.
Yeah, muito. Regarding the troops in the Golpe de Caldas, I'm going to feel that today when I go into Caldas. They were closed in Campo de Santa Margarida, a military encampment.
Santa Margarida. It's not a Y but a T. Santa Margarida.
Yeah. Yes, that makes utter sense in retrospect. And the most prominent officers involved were sent to jail in Trafaria. My goodness. Thank you for that, Antonio F. Morning, Victoria. If we haven't said good morning to you already. Look, not talking about not liking Spain. Here in the Netherlands, the kids get threatened from Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, on the 5th of September. They will be taken to Spain where he lives. Yikes. Or if they are badly behaved in the last year, in Germany, we get beaten with sticks. Or a broomstick. Come on. No wonder he wants to move here. Carl, I learned the song a few years ago. That's fantastic. So sorry for ruining it. Look, Pete, it's all very well. It's all very well heckling. I hope you were singing in Fundao there. Send us a recording of you giving it a go. It sounds like a communist tune. Well, I guess it would do in a way, wouldn't it? What are those random and odd noises coming in? Pete, send me a video of you singing this. Sorry, Carl, I prefer Paulo Sousa. Yeah, enjoy it, everybody. Enjoy it. Kathy, how do you say happy revolution anniversary? That's a good question, isn't it, to someone in Portugal? Is there a special phrase? Isn't that fantastic? I love the description and history this morning. Thank you. What do you say? Can you say something like that to acknowledge the anniversary?
Yeah, we can say Feliz Dia 25 de Abril, or Feliz 25 de Abril, Feliz Dia da Revolução, or... Yeah.
Feliz Dia de Revolution. Okay, Revolution.
Feliz Dia de Revolução. Sim.
Get our mouth around. All of this talk of war saddens me. I choose to focus on the substantial positive change of peaceful revolution. And look no further. Look no further than Portugal.
Yeah, we are not talking of war. I mean, of course, we talked about war, but we are also saying that with this revolution, we gained our freedom, right? So that's why we can be here today speaking freely because of the revolution. Otherwise, we couldn't.
Yep, indeed. Jeff met young troops in Mozambique in the 60s and 70s, also flew to Lisbon with Portuguese families relocating to Portugal. All very sad to leave Angola and Mozambique. All of that is true, isn't it? That happened to people, and that's still being felt, of course. I've always responded to teachers that don't allow me an inch to make any mistakes. Thanks, but it's normal. We need helping. We do. We need helping. We need to help each other, and we do that, I think.
Yeah, she's mentioning the help that she's helping the Ukrainian women in her house. So.
Absolutely, yeah, and this is a good tip from Deagle. Watch it on YouTube. We will get that tune in our heads. I'll do my best. And just very quickly then, what should in Portuguese culture here? What would be a good first anniversary gift from the husband to the wife? Not that you don't have to give her a note to leave the country anymore. That's been dealt with.
Yes, you don't have to. No. I don't know. It really depends on each
Victoria
one.
sorted it. Victoria sorted it. You could go to Pete's New Neighbours for a weekend.
Couples massage. Okay, it's a good one.
Okay, and I think moving to the same country is pretty good. Yeah, come back to Portugal. That would be a nice gift for her.
Yes, moving to the same country. Yes, it would be a good gift. I think so.
One more time, let's do it. And instead of watching me mess it up, you get involved as well, especially you, Peter Bleach. So if you wouldn't mind, it's lovely hearing you sing it. And I'm trying to get involved, Philomena, but it is so lovely to hear you singing it. I hope I'm not spoiling that too much for everybody else. So we have to.
And Carl, I would just like to remind you that I would also I would like to just tell people about the walking activity that we are going to have on the 1st of May, right?
So, go on, yes, please do.
Yeah, because I've sent you the poster. I don't know if you can find it, but I've sent you the poster of the walking that we are having. Yeah, so this poster, I've sent it to you, and but it was on an email. I don't know if you answered the email, but you saw the poster probably. So
you might have to hold it up. You might have to hold it up again. Hold on, let me just do. You've got the whole screen now. There we go.
Okay. So this is Caminhada do Grupo Desportivo Recreativo Cultural Pereirense 1 de maio 2022, especial Dia da Mãe. So this means that on the 1st of May, of course, we celebrate, as everybody else, Dia do Trabalhador, right? Mm-hmm. Dia do Trabalhador, the Workers' Day, as everybody else. But because in Portugal, the first Sunday of May is also the Mother's Day. In Portugal, the first Sunday, whatever date it is, it's the first Sunday of May. It's always Mother's Day. So we celebrate 2 in 1 this year because the 1st of May is the first Sunday of May. So here in Miranda do Corvo, if you want to come and meet me, and if you want to come and get to know this lovely region, you can come on the 1st of May. If you like walking, if you want to participate, you can contact me and I will send you every detail about the. Yes, you can send me an email. I'll send you the details about the walking. It is going to start at 9 o'clock a.m. here in Miranda do Corvo, or in a village. It's not here in town, but it's in a village nearby, the village of Pereira. But Pereira, Miranda do Corvo, there are lots of Pereira, right? But this is Pereira in Miranda do Corvo. And so it's a walk. It's a lovely landscape walking. So there is a waterfall. There is a small river, a stream. So it's walking along the river, and also going up. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, okay? Because it's the mountain. It's a mountain walk, right? So, but if you like walking, if you are used to walking, I'm sure you will enjoy it. And it's in the mountain, as I said, in the mountain around here. So part of Serra de Lausanne, Serra de Villanova. So it's going to be a beautiful walking. And as usual, every Portuguese loves what? Eating,
Food.
isn't it?
Yes, food. Tell us about the food.
So after the walking, because if you survive, you you will be starving. So we are having a lunch together, not in a restaurant, but in the village. So the women. The women are going to prepare the food. So it's local food, local products. So the vegetables also from the village, and everything is very homemade food. And so we are having let's say a party together, because we are having lunch together after the walking. So it's going to be a lovely day on the 1st of May, a Sunday, starting at 9 o'clock. The walking starts at 9 o'clock. From 8 o'clock, we are going to be there to receive people.
Okay.
Of course, you can bring your dogs. Yes, of course you can bring your dogs. Yeah, no problem. You can bring your dogs, because, as I said, there won't be any traffic, right? It's in the middle of the mountain, so it's safe for the dogs, because there are no cars. Right.
That's great. Good to know.
So
Good to know. Well, we say goodbye to Barbara now as we sing again one more time, because we're a bit over time. Let's do this one more time, and then there's one more quick question at the end there. So let me see how I can make a contribution without ruining it entirely. Bleachy, sing up, mate. Don't watch me. You sing and send us the video. So let's do it. We've got the sound of marching men, haven't we? Dung, dung, dung. It's coming in as Alan Tasia style. Yeah. Okay, take it away, Philomena.
Okay, so Grândola Vila Morena, terra da fraternidade, o povo é quem mais ordena. Dentro de ti, ó cidade, dentro de ti, ó cidade, o povo é quem mais ordena, terra de fraternidade, Grândola Vila Morena. Em cada esquina um amigo, em cada rosto igualdade, Grândola Vila Morena, terra da fraternidade, terra da fraternidade, Grândola Vila Morena, em cada rosto igualdade, o povo é quem mais ordena. À sombra de uma azinheira, que já não sabia a idade, jurei ter por companheira Grândola tua vontade, grândola tua vontade, jurei ter por companheira à sombra de uma azinheira que já não sabia a idade.
Oh, superb. Thank you so much, Philomena. My voice is actually giving out now, but that was so lovely. It's so beautiful to hear you sing. And I can only give my apologies for my part in that. What's that, Carl? I just want to say Margaret Thatcher, the longest prime minister of the 20th century. God bless. What? What's that unexpected item doing in the bagging area? Mo has joined us mid-song. I hope you joined in when you could there. So very quickly then, this is interesting. And I think this is a little bit of an insult. Sorry, not an insult, an insight. I didn't mean to say insult. I meant to say insight into the differences perhaps between the Portuguese and the American psyche. 4th of July, American independence, fireworks, marching band, not so on the 25th of April. A little bit more subdued and reflective, perhaps.
No.
What would you say the difference?
No, the celebrations usually on the 25th of April. The celebrations are, let's say, very political ones, right? It's the town halls or the city halls organize something, exhibitions and conferences, and it's making a speech, and it's more. It's not as effusive as the American 4th of July. No, it's a more contained kind of celebration. It's more of a political celebration, let's say, not as much as a people's celebration. No.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for that insight there. Brilliant. tripsforbrits@gmail.com if you want to join Philomena.
The walking, if you want to join the walking also. Yeah.
I think it'll be amazing. I think that'll be lovely to do that, and you can take
and lunch. And even if you don't want to walk, you can always join us for lunch.
Really? Is that allowed?
Yes, you have to pay, but it's not much. You pay 12 euros, and you are entitled to a T-shirt. You get a T-shirt. Yes, amazing. You get a T-shirt. You have to tell me what size, but you get a T-shirt. And if you are walking, you are also covered by an insurance. Okay, so everything is right. So you get a T-shirt. You have the insurance. So if you are just walking, you pay 7 euros just for walking and the insurance and the T-shirt. And then if you join us for lunch, or if you come just for lunch, you pay 12 euros and you also get the T-shirt. You just pretend that you went for walking. You get the shirt, and you get lunch, and lunch is going to be fun. Also.
There you go, Pete. That was for you. Now, for everybody who's going to get a shirt. In Portugal, you might want to add a size. No offense, and it's not because of the lunch, but the sizing is a little bit different.
Also because of lunch, because maybe after lunch they need a bigger T-shirt.
I think you should order extra larges there, Philomena. Thank you so much. And as Victoria is saying, bom fim de semana a todos, the award for you, Philomena, for singing it this morning.
Award.
It's for you. There you go. Oh, Philomena, it's so great to have you. Love to all the family. Bom fim de semana. Tchau, tchau.
Bom fim de semana e até ao próximo mês.
Ciao, ciao. And bye for now, everybody. We will. Don't forget the Man Cave tonight. And we will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bom fim de semana. Ciao, ciao.
On the 25th of April, the MFA announced that the people should remain at home because they feared armed confrontations on the street. But the Portuguese population clearly disobeyed the military orders to stay at home because the thirst for freedom overcame all fears. And so people took the streets to the thousands and supported the military coup to force the resignation of the leader of the regime. The people brought red carnations and distributed them to the soldiers, who stuck them in their rifle barrels, making the flower the symbol of the revolution. The revolutionary process of 74 and 75 was one of the liveliest experiences in Portuguese history. In 19 months, there were 2 failed coups, 6 provisional governments, the process of independence of the colony, several mass strike waves, demonstrations, occupations of thousands of houses, a profound agricultural reform, occupations of land, the creation of workers' cooperatives, workers' councils, trade unions, neighborhood commissions, self-managed factories, businesses, offices, newspapers, and radios. Because the thirst for freedom overcame all fears.